Yo there guys, this is Cobb and it's been a while since the last episode of Dueling with Cobb, so it's high time we had one. I ran into a bunch of people in Hellfire Peninsula the other day, had some epic duels with them, so we'll be using those for this episode. The next episode is going to be back to normal. I'm going to be working my way through the list of people who've messaged me over the weeks. Remember, if you want to get involved in this series, do send a message to my YouTube with your battle tag and a link to your armory for a chance to take part. The first duels of this episode are against another Destro Lock called Dakin. We both start out the duel pretty nicely. Our positioning is good away from our pets and portals, both with Twilight Ward open for a bit. We both just Q&E like feral druids while spamming instants until one of us dares to cast an Immolate. I decide to lock his Immolate and he decides not to lock mine, which is good for me. Locking an Immolate not only stops a lot of damage over time, but it also hurts a Destro Lock's Ember generation. Now I am aware from experience that this duel will likely become an Ember war, so I havoc his pet and throw out some double casts. I Dark Soul after his Blanket Silence, but he coils right away. I try to trinket that and lock his Fear, but the Shard of Lag was all up on me and I end up just getting feared. Quite dishevelled, I unbound Will that Fear and tried to lock his follow-up Fear, but I get feared again, so this kinda threw my good start right out of the window. But Dakin does have to refresh his Immolate, meaning I have time to lock out his Chaos Bolt and launch a counterattack. He does go ahead and lob a grenade at me here before I can go too ham, but having got him so low, he pops Dark Bargain. Having been grenaded, I decide to grenade him back. I get up an Immolate and drop a Rain of Fire on him. My embers are just too low for comfort at this point, and this is why Chaos Bolting is risky in a Destro v Destro duel. An Ember Tap is almost always more useful in a Destro v Destro, especially the longer the duel goes on. Here Dakin pops Unending Resolve to free cast a Chaos Bolt, and not having a spare Ember here to heal with, because I Chaos Bolted earlier, I'm forced to respond with my healing cooldown, so maybe I should have even bargained or shield wall here as well. Anyways, I do get another Ember up here, so I'm going to be fine for now. Dakin also pops his heals and an Ember Tap, so we're about level here on health, only I still have my Dark Bargain and my Unending Resolve, and this is because I've been focusing, apart from that one Chaos Bolt, on building Embers and Ember Tapping, and it usually pays off to play like that. Here I stun and fear. The Shard of Lag has also infested Dakin, so despite him trinketing the first fear, he isn't going to have time to lock the follow-up. From this I land some damage, then when I see that the fear is ending, I know he's going to want to howl me, so I move away just a tiny bit. His Howl of Terror misses, then I hop back in and land my own howl. Despite that looking cool though, it was incredibly DR'd. I get coiled and then feared after that. Dakin pops a Dark Soul and begins charging a Chaos Bolt. This is a no-brainer here. I have to either pop Unending Resolve or Dark Bargain. I choose to bargain, I lock him out shortly after that, and then I, for some reason that I cannot fathom even now, think that his Fear DRs will be over. They are not, so I just wasted some time here. I get Blanket Silenced after this, see him casting another Fear. There's not much I can really do here, so I Ember Tap to pre-hot myself. I see he still has Dark Soul up, so I'm worried enough here to pop Unending Resolve. It was a really good Fear by him to force my last major defensive cooldown. Dakin's getting too low here though, he has to kite away, so I chase him with my portal. Shadow Fury, then I land the old double Fear again. I really want to be able to free cast here and build up some Embers. I dump some damage onto him. Then with a Blanket Silenced, followed by a Frag Grenade, I see a chance to finish the duel. I could have played a bit more safer here and not used a Chaos Ball, but it's okay. I break the coil with Unbound Will and I'm able to finish him off with a Shadow Man. In this duel I again lock out his Immolate, havoc his pet, but this time he also locks out my Immolate, so it's time for me to run away. I managed to outrange his fear, so the opener isn't all lost, but he does quite cleverly quickly sacrifice his pet, so I can't land any double casts with the havoc I used. We Q&E for a little bit until I see an opportunity to lock out his Incinerate, and now I'm going to go into Ember Generation Overdrive. I Dark Soul, drop a Rain of Fire on him and stun him in that. He Dark Bargains at this, which is okay, as I'm mainly just looking to build Embers here. Out of this, he is going to get a Fear off on me, and I wait for him to Immolate first before using Unbound Will, so that it dispels both the Fear and the Immolate. Unfortunately for me though, he coils and Dark Souls right out of that, so I'm going to be forced to Dark Bargain here anyway. I try and spell lock his next Fear here. The silence does go off this time, the only issue being that it went off after the Fear landed somehow. So I will that Fear and then try and land my own. I don't even know how to commentate what happens right here, but I end up locked out in the Shadow School. I managed to kite his Fear though. Then with the help of a grenade, I finally managed to land my own. Again, I'm low on Embers, so I'm just in Ember Generation, Rain of Fire, Fear spam mode right now. It's not hugely interesting to watch, to be honest. I get blanketed around here, so I just pop my heals, preempting some big damage. I kite away too, pretty sure he wants to Fear off of that, and when he goes for it though, I'm able to lock him out this time and Dark Soul, and now This is one of the biggest mistakes of the duels from that night. I had a chance to land some big damage here. Instead, I went for a fear that I thought would be full. It was 2 seconds long, so resisting the edge to facepalm in real life, I try and land at least some damage, but he coils, and with a Dark Soul up, he's going to force me to shield wall, and now I'm very much behind in the duel. Defensive play is an extremely important factor in Warlock versus Warlock duels, but so are the Dark Souls. You either have to force big defensive cooldowns from your opponents with your Dark Soul, or you need to build a ton of embers with the increased crit chance, and seeing as though I did neither with my second Dark Soul here, Dakin is going to start pulling ahead. I managed to land a fear here. I know that if I'm going to stay in the fight, I need as many embers as I can get, but as that fear ends, I'm going to get blanketed up and he's going to play the same game on me, and this is going to go on for a while until one of us starts to run out of safety nets. So things are finally getting intense here, where you're both running out of embers to counter one another's damage. I get a lockout, immolate and fear, and now what I should have done was let him sit in this fear. My heals were coming off of cooldown, and I might have survived, but I noticed this too late. I break the fear early. It's ass-clenchingly close, but he's able to finish me off. It's awesome duels that we had. Much needed practice for me against Destro Lock. I feel that I haven't dueled one-on-one in quite a while. This next duel is against Torgar, the Elemental Shaman. I'm using Fell Hunter Sacrifice spec here too. Specifically for the double spell lock, it is one of the reasons that Destro is such a hard counter to Elemental. So right away I'm going to lock out his very first Lava Burst, land some opening damage. I also have Havoc on his totem to get off a double Fell Flame, just for a bonus Ember. I decided to let him cast this Elemental Blast. I didn't want to use my second spell lock so soon in case to use his Ascendance right afterwards. I see his procs are building up though, so I Shadow Fury here and refresh my Immolate, then kill off his Healing Tide Totem. It's not as important to do this since the Healing Tide Totem was nerfed, but it still helps out a little bit for sure. This time around I do lock out his Elemental Blast, and this is because I know that if I really need to, I can resummon my pet and he'll have a fresh spell lock at this point ready for me to use. I run in here and land a Howl of Terror to force his Tremor, then I pull off a risky little trick that you can try out for yourself. I start casting the Fear right after the Howl, and then I target his Tremor Totem. The idea is to land the follow-up Fear and kill the Tremor instantly, and if it works out, you kill a Tremor Totem quickly enough, the Shaman will either have to sit a half Fear or pop their Trinket, which Torgarth does right here. As he's spamming out heals here, I maybe should have resummoned my pet sooner for the spell lock, but he pops Ascendant just as I resummon, so it works out okay. And this is why this duel is just so imbalanced. There is no way he's going to kill me now while I have 2 spell locks ready to go. As well as a Shadow Fury, I use my second spell lock when he gets really low and finish off the duel with a Shadow Fury. Now this is the last duel. I'm actually going to play this one out with music. I promised Mr. Wilddog here that I would show the duel in a video. The duel though was a calamity. There is just no other word for it. I howl into a Tremor Totem. I don't Blood Horror early enough. I don't even have a Health Stone made. But here it is in all of its chaotic glory. I'll be looking to record a full series of duels against Enhanced in the future, I think. As they're really a class I don't have much experience facing. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed the duels in this episode. They were a lot of fun to record. Everyone who took part was awesome. I'm pumped to be a part of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to leave a like behind if you did like the video, and I'm going to catch you all next time.
Sure as hell hope you're listening. Sure as hell hope you're listening.